This is a Harper Guys production.
The Harper contains foul language and adult material. If you are easily offended and thin-skinned, you should hit the stop button now. And if you are not a complete idiot, let's get this party started.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen. If I was informed correctly, the clock is ticking. Is that right, Jimmy?
Yeah, but good luck arguing that in court. Let me get down to brass tacks.
Listen, let's get down to brass tacks here. How much for the 8?
Jack, let's just cut the crap and get down to brass tacks here.
Are you hating on Neil Diamond?
Holy fuck Neil Diamond.
Our dream of deathmatch is going to come to fruition, and my golden ticket is going to pay off. Hoo-ah. Don't you fucking hoo-ah me, motherfucker.
I want the ability to time travel.
Dumb. This is stupid. Welcome to the Harper, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jake with you as always, my co-host Adam.
That's right, Doc.
So nice to be back. I hope you have all enjoyed your summer break or not summer break. It's been a while. It's been a lot to get here. We're excited to be back and to start bitching like always.
And to those that thought we went away, not. Still here, still making noise.
That's right.
We're pissing you off, or we're sending you hearts. Whichever is you.
We're the herpes of podcasts. You think we're gone, but we've just been treated, and then we're back.
Now we're like a blistering sore. You
That's
motherfuckers.
Right. Once in a while, you get an outbreak to be shared with your partner.
Oh my God, we had so many plans for episode 100. We're slowly climbing in.
We are.
All right, episode 9, D5.
5 more to go.
Woo-hoo! Visit us at theharperguys.com. Once there, you can find our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and YouTube links. Been a while. Cut me some slack.
Are we still on YouTube? I thought we got deplatformed from there.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
They just censored a couple things.
Oh.
Apparently, you don't know the intricacies of home videos.
Oh. I thought it was because we didn't listen to the science. My bad.
Yeah. You can also find us everywhere podcasts are found. Go to our YouTube channel right now and subscribe. Or fucking don't. We don't care. All right.
All right. So I think that's good on the PSA.
And I just lost the fucking paper.
Adam now has no idea what he's going to talk about.
While you're down there, see if you can find my contact.
Why are you reading it upside down?
Do you have anything you want to start with? Or are we just going to... Because I'm ready. This is like one of those action movies that just starts from the fucking very beginning. I've got both bullets loaded.
Roll on 2, bro.
Chambers are cocked and locked.
Whoa. All right.
So you can go back in the archives of the Harper Guys, and I hope you do. I don't remember what show this is. I'm sure I could find it. It's not that difficult. But this is kind of like for part 2 of Asshole Fucking Neighbors.
Oh. I knew that you had replaced Asshole Neighbors 1 with Asshole Neighbors 2, but it has been a while since we've had an update.
Well, that was that culminated with the rats on the shit pile. I don't know if you remember that with the druggies across the street that were basically squatting.
Yeah. They weren't basically squatting. They were squatting. But this is something completely different. Okay.
So our original episode with the asshole neighbors or bad neighbors, I think we called them.
Okay.
I talked about some surrounding neighbors, and I suppose if every neighbor that you're surrounded with is an asshole, then you're probably really the asshole. Wouldn't you think?
Or if you live in a neighborhood where you're like, man, everybody here is awesome, then you're definitely the asshole because you don't have a neighborhood without one.
So I'm going to start here. So the other day, I get home, and I ran some errands on my lunch break.
Okay.
And I had to be in a meeting at noon. So I took an 11 o'clock to noon lunch break, and I pulled in at like 11:55, and I got to get down there. My neighbor's like, hey, you got a minute? I need your opinion.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I got a meeting for an hour. I said, a little after 1, I said, I can come over and talk for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And so meeting was over about 1:15. I walk over, knock on his door, which I've never done this with this guy.
Whoa.
This is I have actually. He had some home interior decorating done, like a man cave in the basement. He wanted me to check out one day.
Yeah.
That's the extent of it.
Okay.
I like this guy. Nothing wrong with him.
Okay.
This is not the asshole neighbor. So I knock on his.
So you knock on the door.
Knock on the door.
Okay.
And he comes out and he's like, you got to see this. I'm like, all right. All right, dude, let's check it out. He goes, all right. So from his back patio, he can access his garage or his driveway. He's like in front of his garage by walking this little concrete sidewalk.
Okay.
In the back.
Okay.
And he goes, now we're going to walk to the main driveway. Just keep walking and then use your peripheral and see what you see. I'm like, this is weird. All right, dude, let's go. I'm ready.
All right.
So we start walking.
Okay.
And on the left side, I see this blue tarp, about 6x6, blue tarp with a bunch of dried shrubberies just piled up. Like they're brown, like tan. They've been there a while. Like these things used to be green at one time. Common sense says.
Yeah.
Now they're just a big pile of this brown trash. Dead foliage that has been drug. Lady has a big yard.
Okay.
She drug it to the farthest, deepest part of the corner where it's just like, really? So, anyways, he says, what do you think about that? I said, well, looks like it needs to be thrown away, don't you? And he goes, yeah. Starts laughing. He goes, so there's a tiny backstory
Okay.
about this border war, if you will. Border war.
Over some shrubbery?
No.
Okay.
So he's got a 5 or 6 panel fence
Okay.
that borders this part of this lady's yard.
All right.
Part. Very little. I'm talking one of these 6x6 sections is in her corner.
Okay.
She had a survey done because she was pissed. He's over 4 inches. Now, she's got a decent sized backyard. Doesn't use it.
Yeah.
This is a problem.
4 inches makes a big difference.
In some cases, yes.
I'm just saying.
She hasn't forced him or made him move anything because
Okay.
she would really be an asshole. But to get back at him, she's going to just put the trash there. So he
Okay.
has to stare at it. So he goes, what should I do? I said, dude, you can't do nothing. I said, because I've got an asshole neighbor just 2 houses down here. He says, what, the guy that mows all the time? I said, yeah. When I say mow all the time, I mean like every 2 days.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I get it.
Some guys do that.
Yeah, there's guys that are into that.
Now I'm going to tell you why he does it.
Because he's old and bored?
Old and now I could offend some people because they're listen, no one wants to have to do extra work, but this guy mows so much so he just completely avoids it all. Like there's no raking or anything. It's got to be, oh, it grew a 1/4 inch, I better go mow. He didn't, and there's nothing wrong with it. I know I have good friends and family members that do the same thing.
Sure.
But I don't know. I guess when you start to get annoyed with people, that's when you start to like, what a dickhead, what a retard.
So what does he do? He just mows every 2 days? That's what you don't like?
No.
That's what I'm trying to get you to. What's he doing?
So, over the last decade, he's had a inflatable pool,
Okay.
one of those cheap Walmart ones. It's
Yeah.
probably still $200, but whatever. Inflatable pool, and he put this these lawn, what would it be called?
I don't know.
Landscaping. They're those landscaping logs.
Oh, okay,
They're
yeah.
long.
Yeah.
And they're like oblong.
Yeah.
You put them in, and they're kind of rounded. Well, he cut them and made this. It wasn't an octagon, but it was whatever it was. And
Yeah, the shape.
actually did a good job. I'm giving him some credit here. And he made this flat-sided circle
With his pool in the middle.
with his pool in the middle.
Okay.
No big deal. And then over the years, the pool was getting old, and he got rid of it.
Yeah.
Then he put a trampoline there.
Okay.
Well, just recently, trampoline's shot. Done. We're done with it.
No more trampoline.
My kid's a senior in high school. He doesn't want it anymore.
All right.
And I'm getting rid of it. So, this guy has a very large backyard.
Large backyard.
Now, I throw this in there because as much as he mows it, you'd think they would just utilize it a little bit. Go out there, throw the ball with the boy.
Not really?
No? You just mow it?
I mean, I don't know. There's people that enjoy just having a clean yard. You don't have to use it. It doesn't have to be a recreational area.
You don't
Sometimes
have
it's just something to enjoy.
But why the fuck do you buy a property with a big yard and all you do is mow it?
I mean, I
It
don't
seems
know.
stupid to me.
Why do people pay money to go bird watching when they don't get to take the bird home? Because it's just the scenery and they
Because
enjoy
it's
it.
bird watching.
I'm just saying, some people enjoy just having a nice grass.
Throwing your logic right back at you.
Hey, man, so many times I've mowed my own grass, and when I'm done, me and the wife end up sitting on the front porch enjoying a nice cold beverage to finish off the evening, enjoying the view of my
Don't-
freshly mowed yard.
Don't back this guy up.
I'm not backing anybody up. We're talking about mowing your yard and what you get out of it.
Okay, well, here's another side story.
I like
He's
side
got
stories.
a very athletic young son who's a senior this year, who's bold, played all kinds of soccer, baseball. They're never in the yard doing anything.
I love that you led with bowling, though. I'm not going to lie. That was actually kind of awesome. Like, he's an athlete. He bowled.
Well, he's a good ball player. He really is. We don't
Yeah.
like the family, but he's a good ball player.
Why don't you like the family?
There's lots of reasons.
Well,
How long do we've got here?
Hey, I'm just saying it don't have to be the neighbors episode. I'm just asking.
Oh, so what he did was these landscaping boards, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call them.
Yeah.
He's done with them.
Okay.
He's picking them up. They're rotten. I mean, they've been in the earth for 10
Rotten.
years.
Yeah.
They're rotten, disgusting. Doesn't use his backyard for anything. Takes them over to the farthest corner adjacent to our yard. Stacks them all up. Now, this is really puzzling to me because he hates mowing around things. He hates getting the weed eater out. This guy literally does everything he can not to have to get off that tractor.
Okay.
So why are you putting an obstacle? And the whole reason is to piss me off so I can't get my mower along my fence. Because instead of there being a mower's width, now there's like 1.5 feet.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
No, I don't understand what you're saying. If you have a fence up, then how do
Okay, so here I'm
well,
going to
explain it for the listeners though too, because like explain the dichotomy.
So here it is. So here's my fence. Here's my house.
So you have a fence that goes behind your house. I know what
Right.
you're talking about. It runs the length of the
It's
back
a
of your house.
privacy fence.
Yes.
To block these assholes.
Yeah.
So and then we have these arborvitaes that aren't his. They're huge, so they're probably partially his by now.
Yeah.
But they run. What would that be? Perpendicular to my fence.
Okay.
And in the corner here, I still mow a strip because it's my. I still have property. We didn't put our fence on the line.
Right. There's a little bit of room between the house and the fence.
So I have like a mower's width that I literally look at that stake, the property stake.
Yeah.
I line it up with the center of my mower and I go right down and it's like, that's like just the right width.
Sure.
So I can't do that anymore right there in that corner because he's put these boards.
How big of an area are we talking? Size of the table?
Well, these boards are like
12s? 15s?
no, I mean in between
8s?
like 5 to 7 feet long.
Okay. So we got 5 to 7 feet that you can't mow with your mower.
It doesn't bother me.
I'm asking. So you got 5 to 7 feet is what you can't mow with your mower.
That I can't get back in there
That you
to
have to
finish.
that you have to use a weed eater for.
If I want to, but why would I? Because he's obviously wanting to make this a thing.
Yeah.
So my wife cannot handle this.
Why?
She just cannot because these guys have been douchebags for so long. This guy and his family,
Yeah.
they live here. This old lady, elderly, in her, I think she was in her 90s, early 90s.
Okay.
They charged her $1 a day to walk down the driveway to bring her mail. She's okay with it. They were taking advantage of seniors. You're telling me at this time they had a 10-year-old son who's full of piss and vinegar, running all over the yard and everything. You can't send him to get the mail for free?
Some people are just bad people.
Very bad people.
Yeah.
One day, we watch these people. We watch these people all the time because they're worth watching.
Yeah.
They went over when the old lady was gone, hooked the guy was, he's got one of these scrubbers and he was scrubbing his concrete,
Yeah.
keeping it clean.
Sure.
They hooked it up to her house.
Oh, really? They
Used
the
the
water?
old lady's water.
Hey, I'm not here for that. Like, that's bullshit. I would have called the city and I would have turned her in. I probably would have actually filed a lawsuit.
We saw them. We were like pulled up the blind so they would realize, and they went over and unhooked it real quick. This is the kind of people we're dealing with.
But I guess little things like that, like to the letter of the law, he's within his rights.
No, I'm not saying it's against the law. I'm saying he's an asshole.
Yeah.
So my wife wants to turn into a bigger asshole.
Yeah.
So we have a wood pile right there on the corner back on our property.
Yeah.
And she starts going out and stacking logs up against our beautiful white fence.
Yeah.
That go out still in our property.
Oh, yeah.
But now she's going down like 25 feet because she's going to be a bigger asshole.
Yeah.
To this guy because he just deserves it. And so I'm like, fuck it. So I mow up against the logs, and then I come back, and now I did go in there and weed eat for a little bit because I was like, you're not bothering me, fuckface.
Right.
You're your side where your logs are on your property where I'm not going to touch our whatever. So it's all growing up. So what happened was when she did this initially, he was out there. The whole family was out there. I wasn't home.
Yeah.
She will take on the world. She's crazy. They called the cops on her.
For what?
Because she kicked the log pile. His. That's all she did. One swift kick knocked a board off into their yard, more into their yard. They called the cops. Wasted Norton police time. The cop comes out. She's like, I'm sorry, sir. You know, you can see what's going on here. He put these back here to agitate us. I'm sure there's nothing you can do or we can do. He goes, yes, I can't do anything. And she goes, well, good. Well, then he can't do anything about these, right? He goes, he can't do nothing about those. I said, all right. She says, thank you. I guess this is the game we're playing. I'm sorry they wasted your time.
Yeah, that's annoying.
So now we jump back to my neighbor. And I told him, I said, there's nothing you can do. I said, just went through all this.
Yeah.
This bushel of shit here is going to have to stay here.
Right.
He goes, well, I've got a landscaper that asked me about removing those. He goes, what do you think I should do?
Hard pass.
No, I said, do it.
Oh, fuck.
I said, you can blame it on the landscaper.
No way, man.
Yeah. So the landscaper did do it.
Yeah.
And I haven't quite yet. I'll have to give you an update.
Yeah. You know, I think I told you about this. Maybe I didn't. That the way our property lies, it drains really, really well. I have a drain in the back of my property that's actually owned by the city, right? But it actually is right in the back right corner of my property. So my backyard, even after like an ass-kicking torrential downpour, it might build up for a minute, but within a half hour, it's gone. My yard drains amazingly. But
I have a funny story to interrupt you real quick about that drain.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's one I fucking popped out of one day.
No.
Yeah.
Unless at some point in time you were like 8 inches wide, you didn't come out of that drain. It's small. It's really small.
Okay, well, that is the drain. It's just a different part of it.
Yeah.
Where it gets bigger.
Yeah.
And it does get smaller.
Yeah.
My friends and I were so stupid that we actually put pieces of carpet on our back because we went down there one time and our backs were all scabbed up from hitting the top. So we duct taped because we're smart.
Got to protect yourself.
So anyways, your yard drains well.
Yeah, so my yard drains well, but then the neighbor, which is back into our right, if you're standing on our back porch, theirs does not. To where we have marveled several times at the lake that becomes their backyard.
Becometh.
Yes, and I think I told you this, maybe I didn't. Last summer, they were out there quite a bit working on their yard. They had a couple loads of dirt brought in, lots of rock. I'm like,
Trying to avoid this.
I'm like, fantastic. Well, we figured out, though, what they did real quick when we got the first heavy rain. I stood there and watched as all of the rock was strategically placed so that there's pea gravel with larger rocks on the edge, and their yard is now sloped. Where do you think all of that water runs?
Must be in your yard.
Right toward the drain, to where I've had my backyard filled twice this year, which takes a lot with a drain in your yard. Don't get me wrong. When it finally stops raining, it doesn't take long for it to dissipate, but it's like, really, man? Like, that's what you're going to do? Like, instead of actually fixing your yard, building it up and irrigating it so that it properly runs off, you're just going to force feed the shit over into my fucking yard? That's about as far as I went with it, though, because I don't have the bandwidth to worry about dumb shit like that. Until it starts actually fucking up my property, I got bigger fish to fry, so I figure it's not really worth the argument. But at some point in time, if I'm ever to the point, I hate to say it, if I'm ever to the point in life where I'm bored and I need something to do, I'm going to go build up that back corner of my property and put a mound across my back line. I'm just going to build a retaining wall of dirt and brick. I thought about putting like cement block down first and then covering brick on top of it and then planting seed inside of it and actually using something that's tough like bamboo or something like that grows heavy but also grows heavy roots. That way, the minute that the shit starts trying to fucking run this way, it's going to mush right back into his yard to where I'm going to kind of build a little funnel. But I don't want to be that guy yet. I'm trying to
That
be.
is quite the dick move, though. Let's just make it go over in his yard.
Oh yeah, somebody used the mask. Somebody was fucking around over there in that corner because there's kind of I live in town to where there's like 4 properties that all come together at the same spot. And that drain is maybe 6 feet in on both sides on my property. So I'm sure somebody was back there trying to figure, and they're like, well, look at that drain over there. I bet we could force that water in that direction. So that's okay though. Try to live and let live. Hopefully they've enjoyed a better summer in their backyard. It does appear that there's a little more grass growing. My grass is in full force, so I'm trying to not be a dick about the whole thing. Sometimes when you're a neighbor, it's easy to bitch and harder to be neighborly, especially over a long period of time, because you've been dealing with this stuff longer than I have.
Yeah, but still.
I'm just saying.
But still, this is the part I don't get. And I have this wrote down.
Write it.
I was taught to be a kind and helpful neighbor. Always. Literally, when I was a kid, my mom would send me over to the neighbors to get a fucking cup of sugar and an egg or 2. I mean, that's where we grew up. That's how I grew up.
That's how I grew up, man. I get it.
It was just fucking, my dad, I've told this story before, he would fire up he had a huge fucking snowblower, he'd fire it up and he'd do our driveway in 25 minutes and he would look around and be like, well, fuck it, I'm going to do some sidewalks and a couple other driveways because I'm already fucking out here.
And you got a fun fucking toy, let's be honest.
Yeah, and it was a monster. It had chains on the wheels. This
Fucking monster.
Big fucking Toro. And so that's where I grew up. Now, this guy that I'm talking about, and
this guy
literally behind me, biggest fucking piece of shit I've ever met.
Whoa,
and
that's a big statement. I mean, you're in your 40s now. We've met a lot of pieces of shit to date. You're going to say this is the biggest
when it comes to a neighbor, yes. Number 1, ace of spades, douchebag neighbor.
Okay, so number 1 shit neighbor. Worse than the crackheads or the prostitute?
Not worse, just more of a douchebag.
Kind of the same all-star team?
So the prostitute is not a prostitute.
Oh.
Newsflash.
Well, I was just going off of the neighborhood hearsay.
So the drug dealers are gone on the left side of the duplex.
Yep.
The guy's grandkid fucking moved in. He's like mid-20s.
Yeah.
Brought his wife and his little girl. You talk about a bump in the neighborhood.
Good people?
Woo! Thank God.
Yeah.
And people are always in and out over there, really making the so she's not a prostitute. She's actually another drug deal. But
Oh.
So what they do is though, they had I think we talked about this. They slide up their side window.
Yeah, you told me that.
It's like the McDonald's.
Yeah, it's
they
a drive-through.
come up. Well, Donna shut that down. She was like out there with her phone all the time. They finally quit. She talked to the detective in Barberton, and he said, I'm going to come down and sit in your driveway. Then he just never showed up.
Yeah.
So at that point, she threw in the towel.
Yeah.
But she still pretends that she's watching them just so they'll stop.
Okay.
But with the new people moving in, like the young people with the kid, and they know that it's the landlord's grandson, so they're trying to be real good.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll curb. I don't care if they sell drugs. Just don't do it in our neighborhood. Drive down in the middle of Barberton and sell your drugs. I really don't care.
I mean, I get it. You don't have a very you don't have a real druggy looking neighborhood.
No. And once again, if that's your means of, or if that's your only, point of making income, do it. Just don't do it in my front yard. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the cars coming in, the cars leaving.
And as long as there's not shots fired, fuck it. I'm just saying.
It's just rough.
I get it. Well, I'm sorry that you got tough neighbor times.
I mean, that's it. That's it. I mean,
yeah.
The guy that the old guy that's the landlord, he's great. Everybody else is really, really good. We had this animal house that's kind of straight over and to the left.
Yeah.
When we first moved in, that's been cleaned up for years. And
Animal.
It's so much better. That animal house, they stole like 3 car radios out of my car, but that was 20 years ago. I give them a hard pass. They're done.
That's a long ass time ago.
Yeah.
Live and let live.
Do you have any other asshole neighbor stories?
I don't know. I think we've been through some of the asshole neighbor stories. Not any that I really want to share at this point in time.
Do you have anything you'd like to talk about?
Nothing crazy. I will tell you that there's one thing that is annoying the fuck out of me lately. And it's not even that big of a deal. It's just a matter of, I don't know, convenience, stupidity. Anybody that's been to a major chain grocery store of any kind, I won't call anybody out by name, I'm just saying, major chain grocery stores, many, many, many of them that are not high end are going to basically like all self-checkout, right?
Yeah, we
touched
on this a little bit today.
Yeah, we touched on this a little bit on the last show, I believe. Well, what we're finding, because we actually enjoy the self-checkout. Some people don't, and that's fine. I'm not here to judge who does or who doesn't. But what annoys us is, I think I've mentioned that we enjoy our Friday night shopping. We will go to dinner after we get off work on Friday. You know, we both work the 9 to 5, 8 to 5, whatever number you want to put on it.
Yeah.
We both work bankers hours, you know. We get home from work, we want to go get a bite to eat, maybe have a drink or two with dinner, and then we slide on over to our local shopping center where there's hardly anybody in the store on a Friday night at 7:30. You know, it works out great. We slide right through the store, get what we need, get on out. It's amazing, right? Well, the one thing that's driving me fucking crazy with this is if we know we have a weekend coming up where we're going to do some drinking, we will buy our alcohol at the same place.
Makes sense to me.
It's the only place in town that has a state liquor store, right? So if
I think I know where you're talking.
Right. If you buy liquor, there's somebody back there at the liquor counter to help you, right? To where they will check you out immediately as long as the liquor store is open. But if you buy beer, seltzers, anything like that, then you go through the regular checkout line. Dude, I get so tired of we're down to the last 3 things and it's seltzers and beer. And I'm waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. My shit's flashing because I'll scan it. I learned this trick. Like, don't try to find somebody and wave them down. Scan it so that it's like, hey, we need authorization, so that it starts blinking. Because I thought, you know, this will work. You know, they'll see the blink and they'll come over. It's gotten to the point now where like, it'll start blinking and I'll just be like, hey! And I'm just tired of it. It's like, if you're going to have everything be automated, which I'm cool with. I mean, even at a higher price, I'll pack my own bags.
See,
I do a better job than 90% of the world, but have somebody there. Like, I would love to have like a specific alcohol only aisle. Like, that's all they do. I would walk over there, check out my 3 items, put them in the cart where my wife is working on what we're doing, and go about our merry way.
Yeah. See, I can't really get on board with that gripe.
I know, because you don't like the self-checkout anyway.
No, I love the self-checkout. But when I have alcohol, I never go through it because of that one rule in my head.
Well,
I don't want to waste any fucking time. Now, if you're at a store that only has self-checkout,
I was going to say there's like 1 or 2 open and there's like 11 people in line because anybody over the age of 60 doesn't want to use those things.
Right. So, I mean, that's a variant, but for me, at our Acme, we have 3 self-checkouts and then we have like 9 registers.
Yeah.
So if I'm carrying alcohol out and I really, really want to go to the self-checkout, but I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So I just go, I wait or whatever.
Sure.
So yeah.
That's the only thing. If you're going to have all this self-checkout, which don't get me wrong, I know nobody can find workers these days.
But wait, we're getting on that.
I'm not trying to go too far. I'm just saying
that.
From that one statement, I'm just saying nobody can find workers these days, so they're automating things like that. That's cool. Just think about your actual services that you're selling, your items that you're selling, and make sure that you're prepared for it.
Okay.
I got one other thing, but we can go to your stuff first.
No, let's do it.
I don't really have that much on my
Okay,
list.
here we go.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen.
We're finishing the show already?
No, that's brass tacks.
Oh,
Doesn't
all right.
finishing the show.
Here's brass tacks.
Where are what?
For a month ago and before then, ever since the Chicago Bears have drafted Justin Fields, I've been talking about the incoming greatness of Justin Fields.
Would you like to talk a little bit about football?
Did you get to see Justin Fields' debut last weekend?
I heard his start was a little shaky and then he really turned it up.
So he had a dropped ball.
I did not see it.
He had a dropped ball on his first pass. He was flush from the pocket, threw one away. He overthrew one, but it was either overthrow it or just don't underthrow it. If he would have underthrown it, it'd been an interception. To where he had a couple of series to start where they ran the ball a couple times, incomplete on 3rd down, but then he got into his rhythm and went nuts. And he ended up 14 of 20 for 178 yards and a touchdown, and then he also had a rushing touchdown and looks every bit the part. Dude, as a Bear fan, I haven't been this excited since ever. I mean, literally.
You want to talk excited. Bless you.
Sorry.
He's going for number 2.
There's another one in there someplace, but we didn't get to it yet. But yes, so Justin Fields, I love him. He looked amazing. I can't wait till the next game. And so now my fingers are even more crossed that week 3 in Cleveland, Justin Fields might be the starting quarterback. I really, 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 really hope that that's the case.
Yeah.
I hope that that's his first start and that he doesn't die against Cleveland. I mean, I don't love that Cleveland's going to be his first start. I really kind of hope he starts the week before because he's going to be in deep shit against Cleveland.
You think the Red Rockets only going to get 1 shot?
I think the Red Rockets going to get hurt.
Well, that could be.
So that's my excitement, though.
You want to talk about NFL excitement? 20+ years, I have not watched a full preseason game until last Saturday.
Oh, how'd you like that?
Holy shit. Okay.
They're good. They're really good.
Now, and this is second and third, or first and, well, no, some first strings, but mostly second and third.
You got guys that are going to be cut that are better than you had 10 years ago.
But this is where I'm going. So for years, I would watch every preseason game up to maybe the first quarter. Then I'm out.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
Yeah.
Now when the starters would, okay, I want to watch these 2 quarters.
The third game when they played the whole first half.
Right. Which who knows if that'll be this time because the third game's the last game.
I know.
So it might. I don't know. Whatever's going to happen.
We'll figure it out anyway.
So I'm watching these guys, and we do have some starters that are second-year players that are on this squad. And I'm watching. I'm like, they look like there's no confusion. They look like they have a plan. Wow. They're not fucking shit up left and right like they should be, like I'm used to seeing. It intrigued me. The third-string quarterback, which they said they probably, or they're going to try to keep him on the practice squad, which I don't know why they don't carry 3. Don't most teams carry 3?
These days, most do.
Why they wouldn't? But this kid looked pretty good. I mean, if you had to have a quarterback and just needed somebody to get the job done, and this is with non-starting O-linemen.
Yeah.
And they looked good.
Yeah.
JOK. I forgot to really hone in on him, but then towards the end of the game, who were they playing? Jacksonville tries to go for a screen, and JOK sniffed it out, destroyed the guy 5 yards behind the line, and just annihilated him. And I was like, woo!
Dude, he's one of those guys. Dude, buckle up, because you saw him in his first preseason game ever. Wait till about week 9. Dude, this is one of those things where people fuck with me because I'm a Notre Dame fan. Like, oh, you're such a homer, blah, blah, blah. No, this dude is legit. He will be Pro Bowl. If not his rookie year, his second year, he will be in the Pro Bowl for sure. He's going to become one of the best outside linebackers in pro football. He's a fucking ninja, and he kills people. So, enjoy. He fell to Cleveland. It's the most ridiculous second-round pick I've probably ever seen.
They were talking they wanted to take him in the first round, and here they fell to him in the second.
Dude, insane. He should have been in the top 15 picks. He's that good. It's unbelievable. So, yeah, dude, things are looking up in Brownstown. Can't wait, dude. This season's going to get rowdy.
Yeah, and I love it because I don't watch a whole lot of SportsCenter right now, but every once in a while I'll flip it on.
Yeah.
And people, now, I'm not, and I know you won't. You'll be like, oh, they're going to be good. Now, Pittsburgh, a lot of people counted them out early, before anything started. Now, there's a retraction of that, and a lot of people are like, they're going to be great. They still have a top 2 defense, which that will keep you in the...
No, they don't.
No?
They don't have a top anything defense anymore. They've lost so No, I'm telling you right now. They might be in the bottom 5 as far as points given up this year. They've lost so many dudes off that defense.
So you're telling me they're going to have a... And I know Najee Harris is good, but...
Najee Harris is a motherfucker.
No, he's good,
awesome.
But they don't have a line.
And they don't have anybody to protect Ben. And after Ben, they've got...
So
Rudolph, Haskins, and Dobbs.
Najee Harris is still going to look decent, but he's not going to look great.
Najee Harris is good.
He's good, but if you need blockers.
They got to rebuild this team around him, though, before it happens. I'm telling you what, last year, everybody was on the Pittsburgh sucks train last year. I was early and said, no, Pittsburgh's going to be really fucking good. They were 14-0 before they lost their last 3 games in a row. Okay? People forget that.
No, they were 11-0.
Sorry, they were 11-0.
Yeah.
And then they fell fucking apart at the end of the season. I'm telling you what, this year, Pittsburgh might win 2 of their first 5 games. If they end up the season with more than 6 wins, I will be fucking shocked.
So the argument on ESPN was Tomlin's never had a losing season. I think he's about to.
Oh, and it's going to get ugly. Like ugly.
And I don't know. I'm not rooting against the Steelers.
You are. We're all rooting against the Steelers.
No.
They're like the Packers and the Cowboys. We don't root for any of those fucking teams.
Listen, I hate the Steelers. I want the Browns to beat them badly twice. And if they have a bad season, I will probably drink to it.
But you'll root for them to beat Baltimore.
Never. That's one of those games where I'm happy either way. Somebody I hate is losing.
What about the Cincinnati games?
I would much rather see Cincinnati win.
I'm going to tell you what. Nobody's going to believe this. Don't fucking sleep on Cincinnati. Don't sleep on them this year, and don't sleep on them for the next 5 years. Because Lamar Jackson's not going to be that good that long time. I don't think he's going to be that good that long there. I just don't. He's already shown to be injury prone. And when he can't run, he's never going to be that guy that just beats you purely with his arm. He did it for, 8 or 9 games early in his second year. I'm telling you what, the team that they're building right now down in Cincinnati, they've got their quarterback, they've got all 3 of his wide receivers, they've got a mojo running back, and they've rebuilt that offensive line. They basically were like, what's Cleveland doing? Oh, we want to do that too. And that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah. Well, there's still little brother right now. We'll see.
I'm just letting you know, like, if Cleveland's defense takes if Cleveland's defense takes the steps forward that they're supposed to, based on the personnel that they have, the fact that they're in year 2 of their scheme, yes, they should be dominant over a team like Cincinnati this year.
Right.
But I'm telling you what, this Cincinnati team, this is probably one of the best 2 or 3 teams on the rise in the entire league.
I would tell you what, if the tables turned, and it's Cleveland, Cincinnati atop the division for the next 5 years, and the other 2 slide.
You ain't gonna get that lucky.
Slide. That's the pass. Got something brand new for that ass.
It ain't happening.
I know.
I'm just saying, like, Baltimore.
Well,
but Baltimore's also not stupid. Do you see what Baltimore did in the offseason?
What are you saying though? You're saying Cleveland's going to be good.
I'm saying
Cincinnati's going to be good. So somebody's got to be third.
3 of the 4 ain't bad. Is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's divisions that operate like this. That from every year to year, like if you look at the NFC West last year, right? They got 3 teams in the playoffs, and they were 1 game away from getting all 4 teams in.
Right.
Like, there are divisions that are like this, and then you have the East, which they all suck.
All I want.
Baltimore's offensive line's good. They've got 2 good running backs. They are Cleveland.
Right. But
their defense ain't as main.
They were Cleveland. All I want is out of all this football in the next 5 years, I just want one coach to stay. I want this standard back in Cleveland.
You need to get to a bowl, dude.
No, I don't listen.
Like no, there's nothing else. There's nothing else.
No, you're worried about numbers.
Everything short of the Super Bowl is a failure.
No, listen.
No, I'm okay.
No, you're
I'm
wrong.
Just telling you.
You're wrong.
No,
I want,
I'm not.
as a fucking fan that suffered for 20 fucking years, I just want a standard back in Cleveland like they had before
the
our
standard's
model.
there.
No,
Dude,
it's not.
It's the most talented team in the entire NFL. Top to bottom on the roster. Dude, the standard is set.
You're not hearing me. You're
I'm
not
hearing
hearing
you.
me. No, you're not.
Everybody
the
expects
Florida
them to win.
Marlins were very talented in 97.
That was a rebuilt. That was a built 1-year team.
Right.
They eviscerated it all. They're not getting
I'm
rid of
just
Myles Garrett
saying.
next year.
No, but it doesn't matter how much talent you have. I want this system to be in place for
It's going to be.
years.
Dude, it's going to be.
I want Stefanski to be here for at least 15 years, and he's young enough he should be.
The biggest problem you have is your fucking quarterback.
I don't think it's a problem.
Well, it's not today because you haven't signed into an extension, but Josh Allen just fucked up the entire league with that extension he just signed.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Have you looked at the numbers? Because you know me, I love the numbers. If you take last year out of the equation, because Josh Allen's numbers last year are fucking ridiculous.
We're not talking about the Bills. Fuck the Bills.
I'm just
They
saying.
Get on the fucking toilet.
But it sets the market, dude. It sets the market.
A lot of things set the market. Our running back didn't get top running back market money.
Because he doesn't get used like that. He took the contract that was right for him.
Yeah,
And if
because you
anything,
know what they're
Cleveland overpaid
doing?
him.
You know what they're doing? And if they're smart, they'll take the San Antonio Spurs method of dynasty. Tim Duncan never took the max contract because he always wanted a winning fucking. So if they actually have intelligent people on this team, the ones that want paid, go.
Dude, but they have guys that have done that already. Dude, Myles Garrett. He took a very good contract, but it's a contract that's going to be friendly over the life of the contract.
Right.
By the time that contract comes to the end of it, he's going to be like middle of the road in the league as far as how he's paid, and he's one of the best players on the entire league.
The culture. That's where I'm trying. That's the word I was looking for. The culture
But
needs
the
to
culture's
change.
changed.
No,
it's changed.
It has changed, but I want it to stay changed.
They ain't going back to the old days if that's what you're trying to say.
I'm not saying that. I don't want the old days. I want it to be long gone.
God forbid something happens to Baker. I believe that even with Case Keenum under center, the way that they run the ball and the way that they should play defense this year, I believe this team can still win. And that is the mark of a very good team.
Well,
that said, if you get another chance at fucking Chad Henne in the playoffs, you probably better win this one.
yeah. I think they're going to fucking smoke Kansas City in game 1.
I'm going to bet against that, but
Okay. You'd be wrong.
hey, it ain't going to be the first time.
This is the
It'll be
first
third.
year that I'm like, oh, yeah? Oh, yeah?
You know what I love about Chicago is, you guys know I'm a huge Bear fan at this point, is everybody's like, Chicago sucks, fucking Chicago, burr, burr, burr. Dude, everybody forgets they were in the fucking playoffs last year. Do you even consider Chicago a playoff team when you think about them right now?
I mean, they were 5-0 to start the season.
And they've been in the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
did they still fire their coach though?
No, he's got one more year. And
who's he?
Nagy. Matt Nagy. And what's funny is he won Coach of the Year a couple years ago, and then Stefanski from Cleveland just won it. So I'm hopeful, and I feel good about it. I just wish that Chicago would get younger. They're like the 4th oldest. Hey, you want to talk football? Hey, and all of you that are playing fantasy football, enjoy your fantasy drafts coming up. If you've already had them, and if not, when they're coming up,
Jesus
enjoy them.
Christ. Enjoy your draft if you can get to it. If you don't have to have a golfer that goes into something else, that goes into something else, that goes into something else. Jesus, can we just pick ping pong balls? I know I'm the majority here. Anyways, just don't. That's one thing. We're going into just don't.
Just don't!
Just don't pour the... Okay, so let me start
Holy
over.
shit.
I fucked it up.
Holy cow, Biner at the 2.
Pour the chips onto a plate.
Pour what chips onto a plate?
Potato chips.
Why?
Just don't reach your hand into the bag, you gross ass. Don't do it.
Shut the fuck up.
No, don't do it.
What the fuck?
I don't want your shit on my chips coming out the next time.
What
All right,
the fuck?
Next, spend money if you're an owner. Just don't buy a team to run them into the ground, Paul Dolan. Be genuine. Or stop, please.
Stop what?
Just don't be fake.
About what?
You're going to waste everybody's time.
I don't even know what you're saying.
I'm leading into something.
I guess you're leading into something.
That last one was a lead-in. We're going to do something we've never done on the show.
What are we going to do?
The karma train is going to hit somebody hard.
I mean, you know what's funny is I'm a big believer in karma. Not to deviate too far, but even just today, I bought some mule mix to make my bourbon mule. I am not currently drinking beer, but I am currently stocking beer.
Okay.
So, my Pumpkin and Warlock only comes out once a year. So every time I go to the store right now, I'm buying a 4-pack. I'm going to fill my back fridge until it's time for me to drink it when I want it.
Yeah.
So I got up to the cash register today, and the lady looked at it, and she was kind of confused, and she typed in $8.99 for each of my 2 4-packs, and I said, "No, that's incorrect, ma'am." I said, "Those are $14.99." "Oh, really?" Yeah. And she goes, "Oh, thank you so much for being honest." I said, "Well, karma's a motherfucker."
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I said to the teller. She's like, "It really can be." So I can't wait to hear your karma story.
Well, you know part of this story.
Okay.
And karma today, for instance, we're driving through Barberton. My wife and I had a little lunch date.
Yeah.
And we're coming back through.
Hey.
And I had to, no reason, stop in the middle of downtown Barberton.
Okay.
But there was a family, a young dad, a young mom, and a little boy.
Okay.
And they were walking, and they were just like, they're waving me on. And I stopped. I said, "You guys go. I want you guys to be safe."
Yes.
They took their time. They waved. They got in their vehicle, and your wife's like, my wife said, "That was nice." I said, "Well, you know what? You never know when you're gonna need that karma."
It doesn't cost you anything to be nice to me.
So, I really want to use this person's last name. You can tell me if I should not, but I really want to. We'll get into the story. So, karma is going to hit Gary very, very hard soon.
Do I know Gary?
Probably not personally, but you know his wife, Pat.
Gary Lindemann?
Oh, there it is. Gary Lindemann.
The guy that shares his football tickets with Reno?
I'm gonna tell you what, this story, this pisses me
I've
off.
only met this guy once. I don't know him that
Well-
well, but is that who you're talking about?
Gary seems like a decent guy.
Yeah, it's only Gary and Pat I know.
Maybe his brother is the dick, but I don't know his brother. So for all intents and purposes, Gary's the fucking dick in this story.
Okay.
So we have this really good friend. Matter of fact, Steve Bliss is one of the nicest guys I know. He would literally tear the shirt off his back for you if he needed to.
Like literally, like I know that sounds so dramatic to a lot of people. Like given who he is, Steve literally would give you the shirt off his back if you genuinely need it. Steve is a wonderful human being. Steve will tell you to fuck off if you need to be told to fuck off, but Steve is a genuinely great person.
Steve has been
I love
blessed.
Steve.
Has been blessed with a very large family, and they're very tight and very close.
Yeah.
Tells me stories about all their get-togethers. You know, I've been lucky enough to hang around a few of these get-togethers.
Sure.
In small fashion.
He's a good man.
He's been very blessed with family, but he has been dealt some shitty things.
Sure.
As we all have.
Yeah.
But one of the things that really pisses me off is, so Steve is a big, big Browns fan. He's a big Cleveland fan for the most part.
Die hard.
But he is truly probably more than the Indians. I think he's more of a Browns fan.
He's an absolute Browns fan.
And for years, so backtrack a little bit. So we worked with this gal named Pat Lindemann. She was the office bitch. She was older and she hated everybody.
Are you allowed to say that on the air?
I did.
Okay.
And the truth hurts. She was very angry all the time. If anybody was laughing or having a conversation, she would ahem, ahem, or get you in trouble because we're just trying to be normal people. So anyways, that's the truth. But Steve sat beside her, and Steve befriended her because he's a nice person. And throughout their conversations throughout the years, Gary Lindemann and his brother, owned Browns tickets. And Steve, for years, prior to when they finally made a deal, was trying to get these, at least go to a couple games. And they finally said, okay. So for almost 2 decades, Steve Bliss has been buying the tickets from Gary and his brother.
Yeah.
And not at face value. More than face value. Let's just say the tickets were $75 or $60. Steve's paying $100 a seat.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And he did this through the most shittiest time in the recent Browns history.
Right.
A 0-16 season.
From 1999 to present.
A 1-15 season. A 0-16 season.
I get it.
He bought all these for over, I think, 18 years.
I can see exactly where this is going.
You know where this is going. At one point in this 17 years, in the belly of it, where it was really, really bad, Gary Lindemann and his brother wanted to sell these. And Steve told me, he goes, to think about getting rid of them. I said, they offered them to you first, right? He goes, well, they really haven't said anything. I'm like, they know you would fucking buy these. So then the idea washed away, and they held on to them. But still, why would they offer him? Like, Steve, you.
And for those listening home, these are front row in the dog pound.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything about Browns football, that is the place to be. Crazy party central. People fucking hate trying to score in the red zone when it's the dog pound.
Front row in the center.
It's legendary for sports fans, the dog pound.
So
it's front row dog pound, right?
So don't think Gary's being a nice guy. He's gouging Steve every fucking year, but Steve doesn't mind. Steve even said, I quote, I've been paying for his vacations for decades.
Wow. Well, that's real nice.
So, we all do know where this is going. So, all of a sudden, the Browns are something. So, I text Steve about 2 weeks ago. And Steve got hit hard by COVID. He's played softball till he was about, almost 50. With the guys leagues, he played softball and played hard. And on certain days when it would rain, you'd see him limping around. His cartilage is just shot.
And his left knee.
Yeah,
his right knee.
Right knee,
yeah.
And he got COVID. And the type of COVID he got, it literally fucked up his joints, and he can almost barely walk now. Matter of fact, a precursor to this story, I asked him. He had some tickets in the bank from last year. No one could go. I said, I'll get whatever you want. Just tell me where you want. And he responded, can you get handicap seats? And I didn't even ask because I knew why.
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck. So I just feel horrible. And he just lost his daughter, a year ago?
Less than.
So this is where I'm at, and it just pisses me off that these people just don't care. So
what are they actually doing?
I asked Steve. I could pull the text. I said, I know the answer to this. But did Gary fuck you on those tickets this year? He said, LOL, yep. He said he might sell me January's game.
What the fuck? He's an asshole.
So if anybody knows Gary Lindemann, pat him on the back for us and call him an asshole.
Yeah, people are fucking dicks, man. I mean, that's one of those things. I'm not surprised at all, given the situation and the whole thing, but...
We used to call Gary Saint Gary because we thought, wow, he's got to go home to this every night. Pat, because she just is an angry lady. I'm sorry, Pat, if you're listening. You are angry.
Pat's not listening. Pat doesn't listen to anything but herself.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it's shitty to fucking do somebody dirty like that to Steve, but at the same time,
I just don't get how you could treat somebody like that,
But
who's taken care of you for years.
I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is this, is as somebody that's been in a situation where you were dependent on somebody else coming through for you on an annual basis, as much as it sucks for right now, at some point, he's going to be glad that it's like this now. So if he wants to go out and seek his own tickets someplace else instead of having to fucking deal with this worry and concern all the fucking time, it's going to be better in the end. We dealt with the same thing with the property years ago.
Yeah.
It's just,
well, you
it's-
know what?
it's
You know what I
fucked up,
think. You know what
man.
I think St. Gary's gonna do. I bet you they go this year, and then I bet you they sell them. Wouldn't you sell it when it's high?
I would sell every game except the ones I really want to go to. But I'm a fan though too. So
But
like,
you know that's what they're doing.
Sure.
He's just fucking making bank. They're not even using them. What a dick.
guy's an asshole. What are you gonna do?
So
You know,
that's my karma train story.
fuck him. You know,
Um,
Gary Lindeman's a douche. What are you going to say?
I said I'm not sure if we're using last names.
I don't give a shit.
Lindemann.
I'll fucking throw it out there. What's he gonna do?
Well,
Is
the
he gonna
funny
bitch and
thing.
complain? Is he gonna call for defamation? If you didn't do that, Gary, we implore you to send an email to
TheHarperGuys@gmail.com.
knock yourself the fuck out. Tell us how we're wrong. We will read your email verbatim on the next show if you would like to retort.
Steve was so
to this.
mean. He only paid for 10 out of 16 games. I had to sell the other 6. No, highly doubt it.
Hey, I hope that for all of the people that have Browns tickets, that have sold Browns tickets to their friends over the last 25 years, I hope that this is a cautionary tale to make sure you keep doing it, because I'm going to promise you this, and as much as you don't want to hear this, at some point in time, the Browns are going to suck again, and they're going to suck real bad again, because most teams go through this at some point in time, and those tickets are going to have to get offloaded again somewhere down the road.
I'm going to tell you what.
You're a ways from it. I'm just saying, at some point,
This is
everybody
what I'm talking
sucks.
about, the culture.
But there, name one. You name one culture that
The
doesn't
Browns.
suck. No. You name one culture in the NFL. Name
The Browns that went to
Hold on, let me finish. You're interrupting me. You have 32 teams to pick from. You name one team that doesn't ever suck. Go.
I just did.
Who?
The Browns.
No, they do suck a lot.
No, you don't. You're not listening. The Browns that moved to fucking Baltimore didn't suck.
Yes, they did from time to time.
Not bad though.
Dude, from time to time.
No, sucking is like 6 wins or less.
But there's teams that go through that all of the time. How do you think the Steelers got Roethlisberger? They won 4 games the year before. Like, it happens to every team, no matter how great they are. The Steelers have had, 3 coaches in 70 whatever years? Like, it happens to everybody. What I'm saying is, when it does happen again, especially in the NFL, the way that the cycles work in the NFL these days, 5 to 6 years is the best you can hope for, keeping a core together at this point in time. They're going to not be great again at some point, and all these people that are fucking their friends now and trying to make that fucking high money are going to need those people again someday.
Someday.
Or they're going to be paying for games that nobody wants to go to in December again. Because that's what ends up happening.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
For sure.
I understand what you're saying. You hope that the culture has changed for good. You know,
Well, I mean,
hopefully
it's not forever.
raise the bar back to a shitty year is 6.
Hey, right. I'm not saying they're never going to be, or they're always going to be a 10+ win season. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I just don't want it to be dog shit. 0-16 seasons.
1 to 2 can't get a free agent.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the most money to spend in the league and you can't spend it because nobody will play here. I get it.
I mean, the culture that the former Browns had went to Baltimore. It's still thriving.
Let's ask another question. We're going to stay on football, but we're going to change topic a little bit.
Okay.
I want your opinion on this real quick.
See what our time is here.
We're doing all right. Where are we at?
53.
We're fine. We got a solid 10-15 left in us. So I'm sure that you heard that Oklahoma and Texas are joining the SEC. Have you heard this?
I have not.
Really?
I haven't been watching a whole lot of live television.
They are
than
two of the
Detroit.
biggest dogs in the Big 12. They are now joining the SEC, to where the Big 12 is, I'll politely say, crippled at this point. I mean, the teams that are left there are not, they're not world beaters. It's as a conference right now, they don't deserve to have an automatic bid into the BCS. So the SEC has basically made themselves, I think they're up to 18 teams in the SEC now. They've basically turned themselves into one ginormous, insane conference, to where the Big 12, Big 10, and the ACC are all discussing becoming a singular conference. Have you seen this?
I have not.
How do you feel about that? Clemson, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, Michigan State. Who's even left in the Big 12 at this point? Baylor, TCU, Kansas State, Kansas. I mean, we're talking about teams of Florida State's in the ACC, Duke, North Carolina. I mean,
Well, I'll tell you this.
Iowa, Northwestern.
Starting with the Big Ten, if they were going to blow that up, I'd be fine with it. I love the stature of the Big Ten.
Wisconsin,
but the teams that they
Iowa.
have, the shitty teams they have in the Big Ten, I hate that.
Like
it's like the Big
Rutgers?
14 right now.
like Rutgers,
Rutgers and Nebraska, they're no good.
Nebraska's been bad for a long time. What happened to Purdue? Why are Purdue and Illinois so bad every year?
Iowa, they can only beat the Buckeyes.
Right. Indiana came back last year, but then fell apart at the end of the season. I just think we're literally getting to the point where there's going to end up being 3 conferences is what's going to happen. And you're going to have the South, the Midwest and East, and then the West is what's going to happen. There's going to end up being 3 conferences in college football.
If the conferences get all muddled up, it will only help the Buckeyes because they're in the weakest conference of all time.
That's the silliest thing I've ever heard.
For years, they couldn't get bids because
Silly.
the SEC was always packed full.
Silly. But the ACC has 2 good teams, and that's it. Year in, year out.
I'm just telling
the
you.
The SEC has nobody that competes. I mean,
the way they do the schedules, they're stupid.
Who's stupid?
For the Buckeyes,
Okay.
for the teams that are in their conference, they don't get big bumps when they beat them unless it's a Michigan or a Wisconsin. They don't play every single team every year. It's like every other year.
But there's enough big teams that they play. They play enough of them that
Jake,
it works
there's
out.
been years that their schedule's been so light, and then they'll go do these rent-a-wins.
Well, they had the one year that they didn't play Wisconsin or Penn State.
But then they'll do these stupid rent-a-wins versus Akron or Kent State or Ohio. And
Every team does that.
It's so stupid.
No, you have to have those weeks in there.
One. I'll give you one.
They typically, but most of the good teams will have one early and one late. And the one late is basically an off
Come
week
on, let's get
right before a
real.
big game.
It's so dumb. It's a waste of time. I know why they do it. They give money to the little schools. I get it, but for what?
But every once
it's
in a while,
a waste of fucking time.
every once in a while, Appalachian State shows up.
And kicks Michigan State. That's the only reason I like those games because Michigan
So you're telling me there's a chance?
is the only team that struggles with those rent-a-wins.
Oh, no. Somebody lost to Troy a couple years ago. Like a big school lost to Troy.
But historically, every couple years, Michigan's struggling with one of those teams.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
By the way, what am I drinking here?
That is Eagle Rare for this evening. That is a 10-year blend. It's delicious.
It's very good. Thank you, Jake.
You're very welcome. I'm actually drinking a little bit of Howard McKenna. Yeah, Howard. That's, you can tell I've had a little bit.
Hi-hoo.
Henry McKenna 10-year mixed in with a little mule action for the evening. So I'm kind of enjoying the ride.
All right, so I don't want to stretch out this next topic. We're going to do this kind of quick.
Sure.
This is Biden's workforce epidemic. So,
Prestige, bro.
many businesses right now can't keep entry-level positions.
Nobody can.
At this time.
Nobody can.
And how can it not be Biden's fault at this time? How long has he been in office?
What are we at? 7 months?
And now, all of a sudden, I mean, you can't blame Trump anymore. Even though they probably tried to.
They do at every turn.
I have another thought, but I'm gonna let it go.
What's the question?
even-
What's the question with
it's-
the epidemic of
It's
no
not.
workers?
It's not really a question. It's more of a statement,
Yeah.
and it's confusing. Why our government? Maybe you can elaborate. Why our government doesn't want people to work? Is it so they get used to the socialism? Is that it?
So let me.
We weren't going to do politics tonight,
No,
but
hold on.
this is fringing.
Right, it's kind of on the edge. So I'll do it this way from a social aspect. We've all had friends that didn't grow up at the same pace we did. That in our young 20s, some of us got jobs and began families and had careers, you know what I mean? And like started off on a path. We all had other friends that decided that barely getting by however they can, living wherever they can, smoking whatever they can was the way to go with minimal effort in life. Now imagine that you're that person and you are given the ability to collect a couple $1,000s a month, which will pay for your rent, your Wi-Fi, and enough mac and cheese to hold you over until the end of the month without you having to work. Tell me what's going to motivate you when all you care about are not
Nothing.
working mac and cheese and video games. Nothing. Abso-fucking-lutely nothing.
Is the government really paying people $2,000 a month?
Fuck yeah, and more.
How?
What do you mean, how?
Was it welfare?
Dude, it's $2,400 a month in states that are still active on the additional unemployment money. It's $600 a fucking week, man. Times 4 plus your unemployment. I mean, these people are making more. Dude, I'm not going to call anybody by name. We know people that paid off their house. The guy was off work for a year and a half. They just paid off their house. He just ran out to where the state of Ohio isn't giving him anymore, and now he's going back to work. After they paid off their house with how much money he was bringing in from that shit.
Fuck sticks. One of our first shows ever, we talked about this, getting off the nation's tit.
And
I mean, I think it was maybe show number 1.
right.
And here we are, show 95, and they're making it worse?
Oh, well, imagine this. Contestant number 1 says, hey, I'm going to give you a couple $1,000s a month. It ain't much, but it will keep you on video games and mac and cheese. Contestant number 2 says, look, you really should have a cheeseburger once in a while in there, and you should really feel like you earned that fucking cheeseburger. So no more free rent and macaroni and cheese. Go out and earn a fucking cheeseburger, play video games when you get home. Which guy you think they're going to fucking vote for? The fucking idiot that puts them on the fucking tit. And the sad thing is that they understand this. Like, people that fucking hate the Democratic Party should hate it because of their ideology and not try to paint them as stupid. These people are very far from fucking stupid. This is not a stupid group of people. Their objective is not to run this country as efficiently as possible. Their objective is to stay in power as long as possible. You stay in power by garnishing votes. You garnishing votes by making people happy. You make people happy by not making people work. Right? I mean, I know that's a couple steps, but I mean, that's the reality of what we're actually dealing with right now.
Now, I could be really, really wrong here, but I don't think I know a lot of people that don't like to work hard. I know a few that don't.
I know a ton. I mean, it's not a group of people I run around with, but I've met plenty of people that I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean,
you also have to remember something too, and take this with a grain of salt, is we're from a certain place. We're not from every place. So just because people on a whole are a little bit different in the Midwest than they are, let's say, the West Coast or what would be the Southeast, they're going to be different. They're not all going to be built the same as we are. Not all of those areas are heavily industrialized areas like ours is, to where factory jobs in Ohio realistically have been available for 75 years.
right. So this leads me into my next part of this. So we can't. We're enabling people to not have to go back to work.
Correct.
And then we walked into Target the other day. I told you a little bit about this. And in the one corner, they've opened up the wall, and all you see is shelves with little bins and bags, and it's people's online orders. And these two or three workers were in there putting them into tubs, and they were carting them so they could go load up the cars in the pickup spots.
Yeah.
And then it dawned on my whole family, right then and there. My wife's like, "This is our future." Pretty soon, that little corner is going to be a quarter of the store, online orders, and then pretty much they're going to close the doors, and no one's going to be allowed in there, and it's just going to be people going out. And you're going to drive into your parking spot. They're going to bring the shit out. You're going to need 10 employees per big box store, or maybe 20, not 100. And there's not going to be any jobs. So now we're all going to be staying home except for those 20 workers at each box store and maybe some Amazon drivers and shit like that. And all of the department stores are going to go away. You're still going to have grocery stores, but they're going to shut the doors and they're just going to cart your shit out to you.
Department stores will be near the bottom of that list. Fast food chains will go in around the same time as grocery stores, if not before.
Well, you don't have to go into a fast food restaurant.
But even if you do now, there's kiosks.
Yeah.
They're eliminating people. Oh, you want us to make us pay $15 an hour? Instead of 9 people, we'll have 6.
So this is where we're going. I mean, I don't think if you really ask Like if you lined up a bunch of people our age, 40 to 45, right now, like 100 people, and I doubt, I would think, maybe I'm completely fucking ignorant on this, but I would think that most people would say I'm not okay with that. I want to be able to go and browse and do things.
I feel like there's gonna hear me out. I feel like with what you're saying, that there's gonna be certain departments that are online only. And there will be other departments that you're actually, when you get to a point that you don't let people buy produce on their own choice anymore, they will stop going to your store. They will go to the local chain, like the one we have on the north end of town here, that there's only like 8 of in the entire state of Ohio, but there are people that are loyal to it to the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To where if you can't buy, because produce is the linchpin. Produce and meat are the two things that people don't want somebody else picking out their produce and meat. Yeah. Unless it's prefabbed in the freezer. So
I just think this whole thing people don't realize.
I'm gonna tell you what though, if you do it once, it saves you an hour and a half of your life.
No. I'm talking about the nation's tit folks.
Oh, it's fucked.
I don't think what they realize is it's control.
Well, no shit.
I don't think Mr. and Mrs. Dumas realize that, the government's controlling me. They literally have their thumb on me, controlling everything I do, and of course they're watching what I do.
Yeah. The only question I ever ask those people is, as much as you want to enjoy it, what happens when they change it?
Right.
What happens when it goes away?
Yeah, it's just like, go get your fucking good job.
Right.
The time is now. Anyways, if you were one of those go-getters right now,
if you're going to change careers,
this is the time.
Go.
Because there's so many people that I draw, or so many businesses and factories and places that's now hiring.
Yeah.
No shit.
You know what I think we talked about this, you and I, offline the other day, but you know what they're calling this? This is the Great Resignation.
Yeah.
Where people are tired of the bullshit and changing lanes. More people are changing lanes now than at any point in time in our country's history.
People are doing it, though, for a couple different reasons. Some may be occupation changes.
Yep.
Some are people don't want to work fucking in an office anymore, and somebody else is offering remote.
Yeah.
Remote full. That's what's changing. Also, bad idea. Our corporation does it. The sign-on bonus. Do you know why that's a bad idea?
Because at the end of it, they're going to go find another sign-on bonus.
Because they don't make it a year till you get your $1,000, your $2,000, whatever it is. If they made it a year, it would be different. But they're making it, like I think they said ours is like 3 months. And these people this is a real thing. It's job hopping. They'll go work somewhere for 3 months, get their sign-on bonus, and they'll go somewhere else, work there 4 months or 3 months, sign-on bonus. And we got to be smarter than this. I'm not just talking about our company, but all these companies got to be smarter than this.
Dude, if any group of people out there that knows that that's the case, people that work in healthcare. As a nurse or an STNA, you want to get a sign-on bonus and then move on to the next place to get a bigger sign-on bonus all day long. If you have family that's currently in assisted living, you really need to monitor what's going on there. Because I'm here to tell you that from
I'm one of those.
firsthand knowledge,
yes,
you should know exactly what the staffing issues are and stuff in the building that your loved one is paying thousands of dollars to be in, because it is shambles. And I'm telling you this from close personal knowledge. The people that deeply care about this are being treated very well, and these buildings are filling up. The ones that aren't, a lot of people don't even understand what's going on.
No, we understand. My father-in-law's in one, and
He
we're
is.
about to get his ass out because
it's a train wreck.
It's new ownership, and they're starting to cut the night nurse, the day nurse. They're starting to line them up. They did a dry run, line everybody up, and you get in a line, and they give them their meds downstairs instead of the day nurse taking them to the room.
Yep.
And they're talking about cutting this and cutting that, and we're like, fuck you. We're paying a lot of money to house him.
Right.
And I'm so fucked because, unfortunately, my dad and my stepmom, my dad has got dementia, and it's not to where he doesn't know who I am. I go over there, he knows, he just talks like normal, but he just can't remember shit on a day-to-day.
Sure.
And my stepmom is exactly the same, and she's getting worse, and she's kind of a little bit in denial, and I've got to call her family and find out what we're going to do because it's time.
Yeah.
And so now I've got to find a fucking assisted living for them in this fucking shithole of a situation. Fuck.
And it's expensive as a motherfucker.
Well, yeah, that's obvious. But and I mean, I don't care about the other shit. You know,
As long as they got the money to pay for it, though.
handling the sale of their house and organizing their pension to pay for all this or whatever, their retirement, you know, whatever. That's a side note.
Yeah.
Having them taken care of is the most important thing.
Absolutely. But that's the hard part right now. All right, what do we got to take us home?
South Boston phrase of the day.
The South Boston phrase of the day.
With definition.
All right.
Wicked Ripper.
It's the Wicked Ripper.
You want to know what the definition is of the Wicked Ripper?
I know what it is, but tell the folks at home.
It's a huge party.
It's a huge party.
Only huger.
Right. It's the hugest of huge parties.
I hope you laughed as hard as I did.
Right.
The Wicked Ripper.
Right. What's going down on Maloney tonight? Oh, they're having a Wicked Ripper. That's what it is. That's the way we party. It's a ripper.
Fuck sticks. All right, let's get the fuck out of Dodge.
Hey, thanks for coming back with us and waiting all summer. We're ready for a big fucking fall. It's
We're
gonna be
about
badass.
to fuck shit up.
And by that we mean kill furry animals. You guys have a good one. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Are we gonna do our little outro?
I don't know, what is it?
If you or anybody's having bad thoughts,
You know what? We're past mental health at this point. We're just hoping that the world wakes up tomorrow and that it's still fucking here.
All right.
But if not, 1-866-422-622-HELP. Whatever. Pick a number. Somebody will be there. If they're not, fuck it.
All right, pip pip.
Cheerio.